gonna be answering your questions. This is office hours. It is the YouTube live stream thing where I answer questions from viewers like you, and when no one comments or leaves a question, then I just go to Reddit and answer those questions. And since I don't have any questions this week, we're gonna be going to Reddit right off the jump. So let us rig up our Reddits here, get everything ready. Hang on. Typing everything. I probably should have had this all set up before I started streaming, but that's okay. Reddit. Let's go r/. I've been doing videography. I'm gonna stick with videography. I like the Reddit/videography because they're good beginner questions. And I feel like beginners need the most help, and we're here to help them. So if you need help, if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat, or you can drop it in the comment section if you're watching the replay, and then I will get to it next week, next time I do it. I'm trying to do these every Sunday, even though it's not really getting much traction, but that's fine. It is what it is. Also, if you have a really big computer screen and you just put on a white thing, it's pretty big. Also, I don't actually wear glasses. These are blockers. But they made me look smart. I'm gonna wear them. Here we go, Professor Ben answering your questions. Let's find technical equipment help. We're doing technical equipment help. Mirrorless versus iPhone Pro. Thanks, babe. Okay, in the next months, I have to replace my old one 8. I have no idea if it's better to buy the SE, saving this way some money for a mirrorless camera. Nikon Z50, Nikon Z5. Don't buy a Nikon if you want to shoot video. That's my advice. Unless you want a Nikon glass and you mostly do photography. Or better to wait till October and buy the iPhone 14 Pro. Probably the iPhone for me. It's better, but I do not want to spend $1,000 or more every 3-4 years. For phones, you're going to be doing that anyway. Like, I don't know. For now, I make travel videos and photos, nothing really professional, but with quality. If you make travel stuff, I would go with the iPhone probably, because the camera you have in your pocket is better than the camera that you left at home because it was too big or that you didn't want to get stolen. So, I mean, with all the technology that iPhones have, you can shoot and edit and upload from the phone. Like, and if you're just making travel vlogs that people, I mean, no offense, aren't really gonna watch that much. I mean, I feel like, see, here's my problem with travel stuff. This is when we get off at a little tangent. Is that travel videos like never have like a narrative. They never have like a reason to watch. It's just like a bunch of like, look at this pretty shot, and you're like, cool. And then it's just that for like 2-3 minutes with like some sound effects in the background. You're like, what the fuck is the point of that? I don't know. Have something there, please and thank you. Okay, what's next? How to handle all this data. Just got a new A7 IV a few months back and went on my first real trip with it. Have about 6 terabytes of footage shot in 4K 10:2:2. I wonder what the best way to deal with it all. Delete probably half of it. Not sure if there's a way to preserve the quality and lower the file size. Nope. You can use proxies to edit, but like that's not gonna help you with your data problems. I know I've got about 10 to 20% of the footage as it was filler stuff I won't use, or camera being left on too long, etc. Could anyone point me in the right direction, or is it just set up a NAS at home with 20 terabyte in a RAID or something? And even then, it would help for a little bit. Appreciate the insight. Man, 6 terabytes. Oof, man, burpee. Stevia. 6 terabytes of 4K footage in 10:2:2 for a trip? Like, were you recording the whole time? Like, whoa, that's, you overshot that, and I overshoot things, so I know that that's way overshooting. 6 terabytes. Man, that's like what I shoot in a fucking year. Like, what are you doing, man? I can't, like, that's so much footage. What was this trip? How long did you go for, and what were you shooting for? Because my first instinct is, I don't know, stick it all on a hard drive, because that's so much footage to go through. and then just go through a little bit every day, I guess, and delete the stuff that's like completely unnecessary. That's, I don't have an answer for you. You overshot by like a lot, but like way too much. 6 terabytes of footage. That's so bonkers. Like I can't even fathom like what your first real trip. Like what was, did you go on a trip like around the world? Like how did you shoot that much footage? I can't wrap my head around it, but like, yeah, I would get 2 8 terabyte hard drives and put the footage on both of them. Then you have like a backup. And then just, yeah, then just start munching through stuff and realize that you're probably gonna delete most of it because you overshot. And that's fine. I think it would help if I knew what the point of show that shooting was. I could probably give it back. Need help finding a camera. Does anyone make a camera that will follow you around based on a homing device you can put in your pocket? For instance, if I was playing basketball, is there a camera I could remote start, stop, have record me down the court on location based on a homing device remote? Yes, so there's drones that do it, but if you're playing basketball, there actually is a company, I think it's called Solo Shot. And what it is a tripod attachment, and then like you wear like a wristband. I don't know what the distance is, but like it looks like it's meant specifically for sports and athletes, like filming yourself. Cause like it looks like the distance is pretty good because it shows people like riding horses and surfing. So that's what I would look at. I'm actually gonna reply to this guy. Doop 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 doop. Because he'll probably never see this. Anyway, on to the next question. Let's see. Need help recording video with my mirrorless Fuji X-T2000. I don't know anything about those, but they do seem nice. I used to have a Fuji X100 and I liked it a lot. And then I sold it, and then I bought a different one, a newer model, and then I sold that, and now I miss it, and I want it back, but I know I'm not going to use it very much, so I probably shouldn't buy it, but I want it. Let's see. Should I shoot RAW? Probably not. So I am the lone videographer for a corporation. We mainly shoot outdoors at farms, events, and occasionally indoor areas like plants, factories, etc. We only have one camera at the moment. 5D EOS Mark IV. My question is, should I mainly shoot in RAW, or should I be shooting? I know RAW gives me a bigger, yeah, the 5D4 can't shoot RAW. Can't shoot RAW video, and I wouldn't anyway, because you probably don't need that. Shoot it correct, and you don't need to shoot RAW. It's kind of how I feel about things, especially if you're shooting corporate stuff. Like, they don't care about like it being 10% better, they want it 10% faster. So do the faster thing. Ooh, let's see, what else? Any advice on rainproofing a gimbal setup? I got an outdoor wedding tomorrow, and there's a chance we could get wet. My wedding setup is an A6400 on a Moza Aircross 2. I don't have any real rain gear, so I'm going to be poking a hole in a trash bag. Have you guys ever tried running a gimbal in the rain? Or do you have any tips? I would find a way to tape an umbrella to the handle and just shitty rig it. Because like if it's a wedding raining, you're not going to be outside in the rain very much. Maybe like once or twice for like a stylistic shot, but that's going to be like 30 seconds. So just shitty rig it for those seconds. And then call it a day, because you're going to be inside, because the bride is not going to want to go out in the rain. She's not going to want to ruin her hair. She's not going to want to get her dress wet. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, even the most, like, cool, chill brides, like, are not down for hanging out in the rain for more than, like, 10 seconds. So, don't worry about that. But, yeah, for everybody else, hire a PA with an umbrella. That would be my advice. Let's see. Tips on shooting with a Canon 5D Mark IV. That's what I have as my, like, DE camera. I don't know. I shoot photos. It's my B camera for photos. Recently a photographer. I'll be doing internal stuff as well as remote video work. This seems like it's the same guy as from the previous question. Just recently started as a videographer at a corporation. I'll be doing internal stuff as well as remote video work for their social media. Since they don't have any video people on staff, their equipment is sort of all over the place. Biggest thing is that they're using a Canon Mark IV, so 5D probably, photos and videos, and from my understanding, things will be much more video focused. From what I have read, this isn't exactly a great video camera, and I haven't been there long enough, literally my second day, to ask about getting anything else. Anyone have any tips on getting the best video I can out of this thing, especially for the remote stuff I'll be shooting, which will primarily be at farms where it's bright and dry? Any tips? Get a a variable ND filter, and a 24 to 70 and a 70-200 and maybe a 16 to 35, and do your best. That's it. I mean, it's not a terrible camera. Like, it does okay. It shoots 4K. I think it does 4K 60 even. And it's, I mean, pretty data heavy, and the batteries aren't great. Like, it's not a video camera, but like, it gets the job done. Like, it's older for sure. Like, I think it's 2016 is when that came out. So anything else would be better. But like, the autofocus works okay. It's not amazing, but it works well enough that you can kind of tap it and you get things most of the time right, or you just learn how to manual focus, would be my next advice. And then when you can get a real camera, then it will help, I think. Or you just talk to your boss and be like, hey, you know, you guys are doing photo video stuff, but I'm mostly a video person. I would appreciate having the right tools. This is what I want. And then show them what you want. But it better not be like a fucking mirrorless camera, or they're gonna not understand. Like, you have to show them like a Sony FX6 or something. Like, it's like a video camera, so they can like wrap their brain around like, oh, you need that, and then you're like, yeah, and they're like, okay, here you go. You know, but if you just show them like another DSLR, they'd be like, I don't understand the difference. You know, so that's my tip there. Let's see what else. Best running gun low light camera, Sony FX6, hands down. It's not even a. I like to do run and gun videography in the dark, and I also like to shoot with vintage glass. I had the GX80, but the low light performance was quite bad. My budget is around $600. You're not gonna get anything for that. Shoot places where it's less dark. That's all I got for you. Like, with the budget, like, you can have a low budget and you could try to shoot in the dark. Those are two separate things. Like, you need light. That's all. Anything camera is, you're just documenting light is all you're doing. So shooting in low light. And also, like, a lot of times when people are like, oh, I shoot in low light, but they mean like concerts, and like, concerts aren't low light. Concerts are actually like just really dynamic light with like a lot of highlight in one space. So I don't think, like, most of the shooting concerts, like the ISOs are like 1250, which is not low light, I don't think. But that's here nor there. Like, what are you shooting in low light? And what does the quality need to look? If you had $600, buy some lights. But if it's a running gun and you're like creeping on people and shooting like street photography, then find a street with lights. That's my advice for you. Let's see what else. What's a good baseline shutter angle for shooting 120 frame per second VFR slow-mo at concert venues to avoid horizontal band? I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of the banding at 120 frames per second. You're just fucked. So you're going to have to get rid of it in post. That's my advice there. Don't shoot super slow motion. And I don't know why you would anyway. Like, if you wanted it for like a music video, I guess. But I don't know. If there's banding present, you're not getting around it with a shutter. It's just going to get worse with the slow-mo. Yeah, some cameras have like flicker reduction and like banding reduction. Like most newer cameras do, like newer pro cameras. I think the FX6 has it. I'm sure all the other like Sony A7 IV whatevers have it. So that's my advice there. Ooh, let's see, more questions. How to avoid flickering screen while recording. I got a problem like this when I'm recording my screen with OBS and my Ubuntu device. Tried switching. Okay. That looks like a technical thing. With OBS. VSync off might help, but I don't know how to function in OBS. I think you're just having, if I had to guess, it's probably like the processor just can't handle that. It's just too much running through your computer. So I would get a second computer and go HDMI out of computer A into OBS on computer B. That's what I would do. That really wasn't that interesting of a question because you couldn't see what the flicker looked like, but it was just like the screen, the background was like flickering through. It's hard to explain. That was a bad question to answer on a stream. I'm still learning. This is only my 5th one. Give me a break. It's okay, no one's watching these anyway. Let's see, what else? More questions, more questions. Some of these questions are like just not good questions. It's not help, it's just like I did a thing. You're like, okay. Need to convince my manager to buy equipment. Oh boy, you're barking up the wrong tree there. A bit about my job role. I work as the only in-house videographer for a company. It was a new role when I applied for it. Of course it is. It's a new role all over the place. So I've been the one to recommend the equipment. It's also my first job in working on videos and with cameras. I've been in a role for 9 months. Pro tip, you get like a 1-month window to ask for new shit, and then after that, they're gonna assume you can make do. I get help and advice from other video companies that my company hire occasionally for big jobs and to pick up work when I have too much on. This is really useful for me because means I have contact with someone else in my field and I can ask for ideas. This annoys the piss out of them, I promise you. What shoots I need and advice on editing issues. It annoys the piss out of because you're literally taking work from them and they know like eventually they'll be phased out and they're helping train you. Like they are saints for giving you any advice and help. It's my 2 cents, sorry. It's my old school boom, like, I don't understand how the economy works. Like, of course businesses are gonna do that. Like, they're gonna have in-house people. But, like, don't lean on your vendors for technical help when you're literally taking their job. Like, it's just kind of a bad taste. Just a heads up. Let's see, I film mostly people doing interviews or of our colleagues presenting on a subject. I sometimes do promotional videos on a product we're selling, which includes shots of the product. I've been asking for lights since December, but that doesn't seem to understand why I need them. Of course, sent her links and even shown her how I'll be using them through drawings. Sometimes I'm left with asking people around the office if I can borrow the makeup lights so I can use them for product shots. To add to this, I think a gimbal would be useful for my cutaway shots, tripod really restrictive and then any other production. How can I convince her that the lights and a gimbal would be super useful and would improve the quality of the video around my camera equipment? GH5, just one lens, a 12 to 60 millimeter shotgun. You know what you do is you shoot something, you have your vendor shoot something, you pay them to shoot it, and then you go to your boss and you say, this is how the vendor shot it, this is how I shot it, look how good it looks, this is the equipment they're using, and chances are, for the price you paid them, you could probably buy most of that equipment. And then you say, like, look how much money you'd save, because, you know, these bigger projects, I'd be able to take on more of them. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. Or just hire the videography, your vendor company, more often. And just, yeah. Because it's like, I don't know, I feel like with corporations, like all my friends who work corporate jobs, like they don't, it's very rare they get budget for like anything, and it's usually way too little. Like I remember one time I was talking with a friend, and he was like, you know, so they told me to put together a budget because the end of the year is coming, like give me the requests and that way they can use up what's left in the budget. And he sent them a list, and it was like an emergency list of like things that they desperately needed. And they were like, can you prioritize this list? And he's like, this is the emergency list. This is already the prioritized list. And it was stuff like SDI cables and like batteries. And it was like a sandbag. And it was just like, bruh, it was like $1 billion company. And they couldn't get him some cables and a sandbag. And I was just like, okay. I mean, they're cheap. Like if they don't see the value in video, then they're not going to give you the resources for it. They have to see the value. So you have to figure out a way to show them that in either like they will make more money or they will save money. And so the easiest way would be to show them what the vendor has, show them how expensive it is, and then show them how expensive the vendor is. And you say like, well, obviously they're more skilled than you probably, but like with lights, you can close that gap by a lot. So that's what I think there. Here's an interesting, weird question. Artistically nude video with good audio indoors, question mark. What does that even mean? Approached me about doing an artsy nude video of them with audio. It would be indoors. If someone is nude indoors, I'm not sure the proper audio equipment set up to use. The only one videographer and no dedicated audio person. Is it a boom shotgun that they would like to be 3 to 4 feet away indoors? Which isn't ideal, not sure. Haven't encountered this before. I'm gonna need a lot more information to answer that question. I would just put an on-camera mic and just go for it. Like, it's an artistically nude video with good audio. Like, what audio are they? What audio do they want captured of them nude? Like, are they talking to the camera while they're nude? Put an on-camera mic and just go for it. Cause I don't know who they're. If they can't, you can't bring in an audio person, but they're also not gonna show this to anybody. So it's like. So if you can't bring in an audio person, they're definitely not showing this to a wide group of people, so the audio matters a lot less. So I would just put an on-camera mic on and just go with it and see what happens. Or you can get like a lanyard with like a mic, like a necklace, and you can mic the necklace, and you can just have the mic in the shot and just have it be like, this is how it is. So yeah, that's a weird question. Is there follow-up? There's no follow-up. I would just need a little more. Camera recommendation for overhead stream for a tabletop game. My buddy just landed the rights to host a rather large tournament of an up-and-coming card. He wants to set up a Twitch stream, and before he was using a GoPro for an overhead view of the table, but now he wants to up the quality and replace it with an actual camera. The camera will be connected to his MacBook using this, and we will have to figure out our sturdier rig for this. Budget is about $1,500. Personally, I have a lot of experience with Sony mirrorless cameras on the photography side, but wanted your guys on a camera that can handle up to 8 hours of streaming without overheating, and that will give us the clearest image we can get. GoPro and light it. GoPros have fantastic image, provided they have enough light. So bring some lights in. For $1,500, you can get plenty of good light and make any fucking camera look good. You know, you get, I don't know how the board game's set up and how many players you have around it, but if you could make like a Ring of Fire where you just have like lights coming from all sides, you know, I mean, at least 4, just like bop, 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 all kind of evenly converging on the one spot, it should be good enough. Or you can get an overhead, like a space light, you know, up overhead, and then you just have the camera like wing out on like a C-stand arm or something, and it'll be so low profile compared to the big softbox or space light that you have that you won't see a shadow. I think even the GoPro would be fine at that point. Second to that, I don't know. I feel like a GoPro is really your best bet on that. Like, to have a small camera that you could wing overhead. Like, even pro things use GoPros. Like, GoPros are legit cameras. Like, you just have to have enough light. That's it. Oh, let's see. More questions. Any solution/ideas to help alleviate GH4's bad autofocus? Been using the GH4 for a long time and I really do love it, but I've been in a bit of a slump lately of not shooting video, and it's primarily because anything I want to shoot really relies on me filming myself. Longer blog-esque shots of me talking, etc. I used to do them more, but the AF is so bad it stopped me from producing short, quick content that I want to shoot. I'll be honestly, when buying the GH4, I never thought I'd want to shoot myself so much. If I go back in time, I might have built a whole rig around the camera with better AF. There probably wasn't when you bought your camera, if you got a GH4. All isn't lost though. I love my camera, my whole rig. There's one small thing. If you're sitting and just talking to camera, then manual focus and set your focus, set your f-stop just a little bit higher than you normally would, and then call it a day and just talk. That's why I made a bunch of videos on a different YouTube channel. I made like 300 videos in manual focus. Like, it's really f4, f5 with a wide lens. Like, you can rock pretty far and it gets you. So that would be my advice for that. Ooh, lights just flickered. Wonder if we're getting power outage. It's possible because the power's out in another part of town. But this part of town, the power doesn't usually go out because the lines are buried. Fun fact about Omaha. Let's see, and it's gonna storm, I think. Is it gonna storm? 82 and cloudy. No, it's not gonna. I don't know. It feels like it's gonna storm. So which means it'll probably storm at like 1 in the morning. Okay, let's find like one more question. One last question. 30 minutes feels like a good amount of time. I'm also like really dehydrated because I worked out way too hard yesterday out in the heat. It was like 90 degrees and I rode my assault bike out in my garage for like 45 minutes. And then at one point I stopped sweating and I was like, that's probably a sign I'm about to get heat stroke, so let's go inside. And I haven't felt hydrated since, despite drinking. I've drank this full like 90 times. Maybe not 90 times, but you get, yeah, I'm being facetious. At least 7 or 8 of these. Okay. Okay, here's one I can answer about the FX6. Hey all, for a while now I've been using a small rig cold shoe to mount my Atomos Ninja V to my FX6 top handle. However, I'd rather mount my lav receiver on the cold shoe and mount the Ninja V. There are 4 holes, 1/4 and I haven't been able to find anything that seems to be sturdy enough to mount the Ninja V. Ooh, I have the perfect thing, but I don't have it with me. I know exactly where it's sitting out there. Do I have one in here? Not that I can grab quickly. Anyway, there's this company that doesn't exist anymore called Cinovate, and they made something called a grip stick, and it was like the same as like any kind of arm that you see, but it's like the best arm that I've ever used, and it held like the Odyssey 7Q, if you remember, which was a really heavy monitor, and it held that fine, and it was like weird because it was like 12 inches long, so it was like these 2 1/4 double ball heads and then like a long shaft, but it was like really thin, to another 1/4 with double ball heads, and you could unscrew one side of it. And I bought like 4 of them. You can still buy them on eBay, but basically they just subcontracted a company called RAM Mounts, or RAM Mounts. I'm not sure which is right, but if you type in RAM Mounts and then you go you can find all the pieces more or less. I haven't seen the long skinny stick part that goes 1/4 female to 1/4 female, which is the arm part, but I mostly just use the double ball head anyway, and that thing is rock solid. So if you just go on RAM Mounts and you go, it's the amount of customization they have, because they like make mounts for everything, like car mounts, for like interior car, like mount a laptop, but they also have like, they call them action cam mounts, but they're really just like a GoPro mount that you stick into the 1/4 and then it's the same kind of thing. And then you could just like, they have like plates that you could just screw them into something really good, or all kinds of clamps and arms. It's so much stuff. But RAM mounts, they make great stuff. I'm surprised they haven't taken over kind of that Cinovate idea after Cinovate went out of business, because those were the best clamps I've ever used. But let's go see if we can actually find some on eBay right now. eBay.com. Cinovate grip stick. Let's see what we have. Let's flip the camera around so you can see what I'm looking at. Here's one for $120. Here's one. So this is they made 2. This is like the shittier one that has like these things are plastic. The better ones have like all metal. So yeah, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing these 2 as options. So they have one. Oh, Nick, this is my last question. I'm showing the grip stick, which doesn't exist anymore, but you can still buy them on eBay. You came with the last question, Nicholas. Oof. I gotta be better about announcing my live streams. Yeah. Nick, do you got any questions? Sorry, we'll answer a live viewer question. How's the new computer? The new computer is pretty sick, bro. You wanna see it? Here's my, excuse my messy desk setup. But like, look how big it is. It's so massive. It's like, got the camera there. It weighs 50 pounds versus like this little dinky computer, which you can't even see. Right? Whoa, indeed. It was very expensive. How's it working? It's working pretty good. I don't have a lot of my presets for photo editing on it, so I haven't edited any photos because I still need to move those over. And I need to move like my LUTs and stuff over, but like I've done some like long renders on it, and it renders much faster, which is cool. But what's interesting is that it has the new Premiere, like it downloaded the Premiere 2022 or whatever, and I'm still using 2021 on this computer. And the export presets are different. And so like it's dumb because like the presets every preset makes it bigger. So I need to figure out what my presets were for exporting on my old computer and then make that on the new computer. So yeah, how's the engine game working? Been using Resolve for a few years and in love. I just know how Premiere works and I'm already paying for it. So that's why I use Premiere. I don't want to learn a new program. And I'm gonna be paying for it anyway, you know. Engines are good, loud. That's good. Are you still working from home? They still letting you work from home? Hybrid. Oh yeah, I remember you were talking about that. Me and Nick are gonna make a podcast where we do essentially this. We just answer questions and talk to creative people. It'll probably be more interesting because it will be more than just me answering questions from Reddit to nobody. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is mostly just like, oh, you gotta hop off. I love you too, bud. Thanks for popping in right at the end. I can still end on time. Perfect. But yeah, me, Nick, and my friend Django are talking about doing a podcast where essentially it's similar to this, like helping creatives and maybe bringing creative people in and talking about their journey, how they got where they are, advice they wish they would have known, and then taking questions as a collaborative group of 4 or 5 people every month or something like that. But yeah, I haven't really promoted this at all. This is just something I'm kind of trying to see if I like it, just trying it on, and seeing if I can get a little bit extra view counts. Because I want to start making more. I have all these like ideas written down and like outlined. I just need to like start executing. But like, I don't like my office is so messy. Like you can see like, because girlfriend's desk is over there, and then we just got like the background's not good. There's no good backgrounds in my apartment. I need to find a better background. And then once I do that, I think that maybe that's just also my excuse that I have in my head of like why I'm not taking action on that. But then also I have like 19 other side projects, so this feels like a pretty low effort first step into it, and then I could just use my cell phone to make a live stream and answer random questions, and then go from there. So we'll see how it goes. It's a journey, and we're just asking questions. I think that's the most important advice I can leave for anyone that wants to do creative stuff is just to ask questions, and ask bad questions, and then just follow them around and see where they go. And if it might turn out to be some of your best work, because that's what I do. Like when I get bored, when I'm shooting photos, I'll get bored and then I'll be like, I'm gonna try this weird thing, and then it ends up being like my favorite photos from the shoot. So something to think about. Ask more questions, find the answers. Yeah. So anyway, if you got any questions for me, that you want me to answer, drop them in the comments. I'll respond to your comment, and then I'll talk about it in the video the next week or whatever. I'm trying to do these on Sundays. Subscribe if you haven't, etc. And thank you for watching. If you're watching in the future, thank you for watching Nick and my girlfriend. And that's the only people who watch this one. So, anyway, yeah. Hope you're having a good time.